Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Really does help out the channel. I know I say it all the time, but I can't believe the difference it really does make. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Pushy1, who says, me, 26 male, tormentor from school, 26 female. Can people really change? And if so, how much? There is no other way to say this. She was a bully to me in middle school, humiliated me in early high school, and thankfully ignored me our senior year. She was always the popular cheerleader type, and when we were in middle school, she would verbally bully me and make fun of me and my appearance whenever she could, and would do it as the leader of a pack of she-wolves who would write fake notes to me and take photos of me and Photoshop all sorts of vile things and plaster them all over the school. When we were in the 10th grade, she catfished me. There wasn't even a word for it back then, and eventually got myself and another guy to meet one another after school, both of us thinking that there was a cute new girl in school who liked us. Needless to say, both of us were the butt of jokes for the rest of the school year. Finally, by the middle of our junior and senior years, she thankfully forgets I exist. Flash forward to the present. I'm parking my car and getting ready to go into Wendy's for lunch when I hear my name being spoken by a person directly behind me. I turn just in time to see my tormentor coming in for a hug. My first reaction was to run because of our previous dealings with one another, but she is quicker than I am. She stands there chatting in line with me like we were the best of friends and reminiscing about grand old times that never existed for me. She and I lived two very different high school experiences, I assure you. She the popular girl and I the social outcast, not even cool enough to be accepted by the nerds and hipsters. So I get my food. I was planning on eating there, but since it was apparent that her and the woman she was with were eating there, I got mine to go. I wished her well and tried to bolt out the door, all the while losing whatever appetite I had. But before I left, she asked me for my number, and like an idiot, I gave it to her. Next day, I get a call from my sister. By the way, while I love my sister, she also lived a very different life than I did in high school. In fact, I think my tormentor idolized her. She was a grade ahead of us. My sister says she got a call from Lady Voldemort wanting to know all about me. Said she was asking all forms of questions about my life, what I was doing, and if I was seeing anyone. I told her that I ran into her at a Wendy's and that I'm sure this was some sort of elaborate scheme of hers. My sister said I was a dumbass and that we are grown adults and that I need to see what was right in front of me. I of course responded by saying that what was in front of me was Lucifer on Earth. Sure enough, my phone blows up that night with texts from a strange number. I didn't take long to deduce that it was her. She started with small talk about how great it was to see me again and how wonderful I looked. And she goes into asking me why I never asked her out in high school. I nearly flushed my phone in the toilet from that one. Now, mind you, she is saying all of this on text without me replying at all. Finally, I respond back with, "It was nice seeing you too." Within a minute of hitting send, my phone is ringing. I guess she decided that my response was good enough to give me a ring. She asked me out for a date for this Friday night. Here is my dilemma. From an outsider's perspective, she is gorgeous. I mean, a solid 8, maybe 9 on a 10 scale. However, when I hear her speak or think about her, I can't see her physical attributes. I see visions of hell on earth with her riding some fiery chariot being drawn by black horses that snort smoke and fire. I realize that I'm being overdramatic and in my real life I'm long past being socially awkward. I stare down drunks and assholes every day in my job. Did I mention that I was a police officer and when I was at Wendy's I was on the job, and generally I am not afraid. She on the other hand makes me want to crawl under my bed and not come out. Is it possible for her to change? What the hell do I do with all these repressed emotions that I obviously have pent up from years and years ago? She is either oblivious to what she did to me or does remember and is trying to forget. Since I told her I would go out with her, I've gotten several texts about looking forward to Friday. My heart races every time I get a text from her, but not from the romantic butterfly in the stomach kind of way. What does the group think here? Has anyone else ever had a mortal enemy become a date? Wow, this is a tough situation, especially for someone who's bullied you in the past. I'm not sure how I would feel in that one, I've got to be honest. I think that people can obviously change. I mean, you've changed yourself from your past, you even say so. But would you be able to move past what's happened to you in the past, what she did to you? For me, and I know people always suggest, counseling and various things like that whenever I mention this, but I would say my bullies still come into my mind and how they ruined my last year of school. And I would never forgive them for that. These people went on to, in my particular situation, pick on me daily. Every lesson I was in, they would target me and attempt to make a spectacle of me in front of everyone in class. There's just no empathy from that person or anything like that. Sure, they might have changed. They might be different people now. And what really jumped out to me in this story is that when she bumped into you, there was no mention of what happened in the past. And I really hope that she hasn't forgotten what she's done to you, because that's absolutely awful if she has. And I'd be curious from that point of view only, if I ever got contacted by my bully for whatever reason, I think I would go for a coffee or a beer or something to discuss what he feels now. Does he feel any remorse for what he did in his past? And again, I wouldn't forgive him for it. It would be nice to know that there is regret in what he did. But a deleted user comes in and says, like you should say this, saying, look, I just need to get something off of my chest. I accepted your invitation because I wanted to be the bigger person and forget about all the nasty things you said and did to me in high school. But I just can't. I need you to explain to me why you did the things you did. And I need you to apologize to me for them. Without those two things, I simply can't see a world where the two of us would be anything more than ex-classmates. You seem like a perfectly lovely person now. I sincerely hope that you have changed. But I haven't forgotten about all the shitty things you did to me in high school, and I'm simply not going to let you back into my life until you prove to me that you have indeed changed. And goes on to say, if you forget about everything she ever did to you in the past and go out with her simply because she's hot, you have validated every shitty thing she's ever did to you. Why would she ever take you seriously knowing that she could treat you like hammered shit and you'd still forgive her? And look at it this way. If you are good looking enough now to warrant this girl asking you out, then you are good looking enough to find another attractive woman who isn't a piece of shit. Another thing to remember is that she was a tormenting, catfishing bitch of a girl in high school. Friday could be just another setup. Some people change. Some don't. Miss C says it doesn't sound like you're being overly dramatic at all. However, to me it's bizarre that you're even considering going out with her. It's totally possible for her to change. After all, you are not the same person you were in high school, right? But who cares? The best thing to do with this kind of baggage from high school is accept that it's in the past and move on from it. You're not going to move on from it when your bully is trying to date you. In your shoes, I would tell her, I can't make it, and cut off contact. Don't even open that can of worms. It sounds like interacting with her at all is fucking with your head in a big way. Why are you exposing your adult self to shit your teenage self already had to go through? There's no point. And OP replies saying, you would think that, right? But every single person I know who I've spoken to about this tells me that I'm an idiot. My sister, my best friend, hell, even my partner from work who doesn't know her but saw her asked me if I've lost my damn mind. They all tell me that I am being a drama king and that we were both children when this occurred and that I need to let it go. My sister even sent me the damn Disney video link to the song. She was nice enough in person the other day and she genuinely seems excited about Friday, and I know that there are hundreds of guys who would fall all over themselves to go out with her, but damn, it's just so hard to let go of something that I guess I've been nurturing for over a decade. And that's just bloody awful. People telling you to just move on from it, not knowing the trauma that you've been through. I absolutely hate it. I've never really experienced that apart from a few YouTube comments when I talked about my bullying experiences in the past, and they just say, you're older now, Mark, just get over it kind of thing. Or man up, the classic one, of course. Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, piss off. But Igor says, I can't imagine letting bygones be bygones, smiling politely and then saying have a good day in this situation. But I really can't imagine wanting to spend any time with someone who put me through that sort of shit. Has she changed? Most likely are the millions of women in the world who won't complete "see you next Tuesdays" to you in high school. Yes, go on a date with one of them. And one more from a little bit of a different perspective who says, I see a lot of conflicting info on this thread, and I suppose I'll take a stance somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's a terrible idea to go on one date with this person. People can change drastically in 8 to 10 years, and if the only interaction you've had is inside of a Wendy's with one of her friends and a small amount of time on the phone, I think it's possible she may want to apologize to you, but might not have found an opportunity to yet. Go out and see how things go. See if she takes it upon herself to apologize. If she starts bringing up the good old days, tell her that you don't have the best memories of those times and tell her how she made you feel. If she shows remorse and is genuinely apologetic, she's changed. If she's dismissive and doesn't think it was a big deal after you said so, it's probably in your best interest to bail. Ultimately, it's about how you feel and what kind of person you are. The wonderful thing about right now is that she's put you in the driver's seat, so you finally have a situation where you have control. You can decide if you're the type of person who can forgive someone after the pain they've caused you, or whether it's dealt too much damage to you, or you just don't want to forgive her. Your call. I sincerely wish you the best, friend. However this ends up going, keep us posted. So OP comes in with the first little mini update which says, I know it's early for an update, but I wasn't sure anyone would read if I put this in an edit. After reading all the responses to the original and several PMs, I've made a decision. It would not be fair to either of us for me to go into Friday night with her and ambush her with problems from my past. So I gave her a call this afternoon and invited her to a late lunch tomorrow when she gets off of work, which she was thrilled to do. I plan on talking with her about things and we will see what happens from there about Friday night. I'm either setting myself up to be the world's largest douchebag or I'm going to get burned again. Her acting all giddy every time I talk with her does make me feel like a shit for holding on to the past. I just plan on easing into the conversation and I'm going to be very specific about the catfish thing. I know for a fact she was behind that one and that is the one that hurt the worst. I'll let you guys know what she says. So OP's second update says, sorry I forgot to update about our lunch. I arrived early enough so that I made sure to be there before her so I could pick out a secluded spot so we could talk and not be interrupted. She got there about 15 minutes after I did, right on time by the way, and she spotted me and came over to sit. She was just beaming and had a huge smile on her face from the moment she came in the door, and it honestly made me feel like a creep who was laying in wait to ambush her. But when she started to talk, her voice just sent cold chills down my spine, because even though she was saying nice things, it was still that voice that I remembered from years ago, and that helped my steel resolve. She was saying how thrilled she was to meet with me today, and then how much she was looking forward to Friday night. At this point, the waitress came to get our order, so that caused a natural pause. I decided to wait till the food came so that we could not have any further interruptions, so we just made small talk. Food comes and I take the shot. Simply put, I just asked her why she was now interested in me when all during our school years I was less than dog shit to her. Yes, I said dog shit because, well, just because. She actually teared up a little bit, but to her credit, she didn't cry or anything at this point. She goes on to say that she knew when she did the catfishing thing that she had gone too far. She stated that she had no good reasons for doing anything other than she was very immature and very wrong. She then went on to tell me something I had no idea about. I guess the other guy who she tricked with a catfishing scheme did not take it as well as I did. She said about a month after she did that, he physically attacked her on the way to her mum's car one day while she was leaving cheerleading practice. She had a fractured jaw, contused lungs and 2 broken ribs. I knew she had missed some school, but at the time had no idea why, nor did I care. She then said that she never came to apologize to me for it because after that she was afraid and did everything in her power to avoid me for the rest of our time in school. The other guy transferred out before that school year was up. She did make what I thought was a really heartfelt apology to me. I'm usually a decent judge of character and believe in my line of work people lie to me all the time, so you pick up on traits and she's either one of the best lies I've ever come across or she was genuinely sorry for doing it. When we talked about middle school and while she admitted some of the things that happened, she let me know that some of them were not her but girls who she was hanging out with at the time. Some of it made sense, the other was really irrelevant anyway because it was the catfishing thing that hurt the worst. She never tried to bolt out of the cafe, nor did she ever look me in the eye. After a few minutes of this, I decided that my honor had been satisfied and that I would change topics. What started out as a lunch ended up with an entire afternoon and early evening together, walking and talking. Man, has she ever had a rough time since high school. She was actually very down to earth, not at all like I imagined her being. Of course, my imagination of her before then was her speaking with a forked tongue while chanting scriptures from the Book of the Dead. The main takeaway I got about her from today is that she is genuinely interested in me. She admits that the uniform from the other day was a turn on, but that she wants to get to know me for me. Which sounds cheesy when I read it typed out here, but when she said it, I was kind of impressed. Honestly, this was a great day for me. I got closure. I got a heartfelt apology at the end of the day. Once I got past thinking of her as the daughter of Satan, she was actually a decent person to talk to, and yes, I now see that she is wickedly hot. By the end of the evening, she was all smiles again and telling me how she hasn't felt this close to someone in a long time. She actually gave me a goodnight kiss. Anyway, Friday night is on for sure. Third update. Hi gang, thought I'd give you what should amount to being the final update on this. Went out with her last night and things could not have gone better. Honestly, I had fun with her, not the way you were thinking by the way. The sick bastards. And we stayed out way later than either of us planned. Thank God I didn't have to go to work today. This wasn't a normal date for me. Generally speaking, I tend to end up in bars and listen to crappy music all night for some woman who I really don't connect with. In many ways, this was surreal because I was having the time of my life with a person who, up until 48 hours ago, I spent well over a decade either dreading/fearing or hating depending on the day of the week. We went fucking bowling and it was her idea. I haven't been bowling since I was a teenager and you could tell. She laughed at me because of how bad I sucked, but all I could do was laugh with her because she wasn't making fun of me, she was just having a great time. After that, we went and ate and she demanded to pay because she said she asked me out, which is the very first time in my entire life a date has offered to pay for my meal. I was taken aback at first, but the more the night went on, the more I appreciated the effort she was putting into this night. The more we talked, the more we found that we had in common. I got the most passionate kiss I've ever received in my life as we said goodnight. I'll be damned if I didn't feel like I just lost my virginity again when she did that. Fuck, I can't even explain it or how it felt. I've never been kissed like that. We're going out again tonight. My idea, by the way. At this point in time, I think I can close this out because I'm positive of my own question now. I don't know if everybody can, but she certainly has changed and I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. Thank you everyone for their support and answers. Keep strong. Last edit. I'm not going to make another post just to say this part, but Saturday's date went better than Friday's date. In fact, I'm just home now from our house, and the only reason I'm home now is because I have to put an extra shift tonight that I can't get out of. We plan on having dinner together Tuesday. And there was another update which was deleted, but luckily I found somewhere on Google. I don't know, I googled loads, eventually found it, which said, "Hey gang, I know that I said my last update was going to be my last update, and that was my intent. But I know a couple of people have asked me for an update in the future if anything had changed. Well, I'm writing tonight to tell you that we are now completely and 100% official. We had to talk tonight, and as of now, both of us are off the market. She is the one who brought it up, and the joke was on me because she said that since our first date, she had no interest in seeing anyone else and hasn't gone out with or done anything with another guy since before our first date. The irony is that I actually had a dinner date about a week after our first date together, but I cut the evening off with that woman because I actually felt a little guilty. I told her that I did go out on the date, but I also made sure to let her know the reason for putting an end to the date. As to everything else, this has been amazing. The more I get to know her, the more I am finding that she is really just a down-to-earth girl. In fact, kind of a tomboy, who happens to be either blessed or cursed depending on your point of view with being insanely good looking. We've had a long, and I mean long, 5 to 6 hour long conversations that have covered about every aspect of life. I now know a lot more about the time she was assaulted and the circumstances leading up to and after that event. Tonight she actually said that she felt really vulnerable because she can't hide the fact that she is falling for me fast. She didn't say I love you, but I have a feeling she wanted to. I'm not there yet, but I will admit to having very strong feelings for her as well, and for once those feelings are not of loathing or fear. I won't deny this either. The first time we were intimate was just bizarre as hell. Not the fact, but what was going on in my head. But like a good trooper, made the joke at the expense of the state boys, I carried on. Anyways, I guess that should be it for me. If I post again in the future, it will be either to say we are broken up or moving in together. Long story short, I'm so glad I let go of my past, because if I hadn't, I would have missed out on the best relationship I've ever had to date. And if I'm being truly honest at the end of this one, I'm super happy OP has been able to move on, get a relationship and see past what happened in the past as well. But part of me felt like this, that apparently I think this all happened in the space of a month. It just felt like everything was moving incredibly fast. I mean, who am I to judge the speed of their relationship? But she went from someone who plagued OP's mind for years and years and is now one of the biggest relationships of his life. And they're almost saying, I love you to each other and all this kind of stuff. It feels like, whoa, careful here, guys, careful. However, I really do wish them the best, and there was no further updates on that. So I can only hope that they have moved on and they're having a great life, whatever they're up to right now. But what do you guys make of this situation? How about if you was OP in that original post? What would you do? Would you be able to forgive someone like that, someone that bullied you in the past? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You know me, bullying stories, they always hit me hard when we read them, so I have a very biased view, maybe an unfair view even. So let me know yours down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support and time always means the absolute world to me. If you'd like to listen to the podcast, a different format to listen to, if you're running, jogging, whatever you're up to, go to mark-narrations.com and you can select your favorite podcast there. And if you'd like to support the channel, patreon.com/marknarrations. Never expected, but always appreciated. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today